contract for you tonight. Making their debut here on Locals Only. Very excited to have in Studio 2A Taco Sauce. They just released brand new EP, the original Hot EP. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more here over the course of the next hour or so. So without further ado, live in Studio 2A and streaming on video via YouTube and Facebook, here's Taco Sauce on Locals Only.
I don't believe in the will of God. I'm not sure if I into karma. Don't have faith in fate or meant to be. Something deep in me believes that the accident on your bike is directly correlated to you tell me to take the high. That's right. And you broke all your bones. 'Cause you broke the heart over the telephone. You're electrified and you smashed up your face. Said it's smashing me over in my face. You might say I'm being petty, and it's probably true. Even before this happened, I would never wish harm on you. You might call it a coincidence, and it's not the word to do. That this kind of tragic incidents only happen when you got your laying loose. Electrified, and you broke all your bones. 'Cause you broke the heart over the telephone. You petrified, and you smashed up your face. Said it's smashing me over in my face. Maybe if you say sorry, and learn to talk about your feelings, not about it so carefully, you can learn about sexual healing. Electrified, and you broke all your bones. 'Cause you broke the heart over the telephone. Petrified, and you smashed up your face. Said it's smashing me over in my face. Now you're petrified, and you broke all your bones. 'Cause you broke the heart over the telephone. Electrified, and you smashed up your face. Said it's smashing me over in my face. The last time that I was happy, The first time I ever saw your face, two visions of ever after vanished without a trace. You ghosted me every weekday, said you had work to do. You texted me every weekend, pretty baby come through, and that was okay. About a month or two, until one day I did what I should never do. I searched for your name on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram too. Scrolled through your activity, then I texted you, baby, we're through. I promised myself I'd move on, won't be a plaything no more. I know it's been months since you've gone. I can't close that online door. I don't know why. Every day I want you. I don't know why. Spy on all that you do. I will stay true. I follow you. I will stay true. I follow you. I tiptoed through every comment, repost and like on your screen. Did the math to find which coincides, it still didn't quench my need. One morning I wake up, I see a new bird's face on my screen. You're trying to make me jealous, I can't let you know what I've seen. I don't know why, I cry every day I want you. I don't know why, I spy on all that you do. I will stay true. I follow you. I will stay true. I follow you. I don't know why I cry every day I want you. I don't know why I spy on all that you do. I will stay true. I follow you. I will stay true. I follow you.
You're tuned in to KXCI here. This is Locals Only. My name is Matt, and I'm live in Studio 2A with Taco Sauce. Thanks for coming down tonight, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
So everybody's got a mic, so why don't we start off just with introductions. Let us know who you are, what you're playing tonight.
I'm Gabby M., the singer and guitarist.
I'm Isabella. I play bass.
And I'm Gabby Al, drummer.
So even though Taco Sauce feels like kind of like a established fixture on the scene now, you're really a very young band in the grand scheme of things. So I want to go back to the beginning and talk about the genesis of this project. What is it that that gave this band its spark of life?
Persistence. Determination.
Yeah, well, it existed as an idea for me. I had even recorded a few demos with Andrew Shuta, a local artist. I think he moved, but he's awesome. He does a bunch of things. And I had just been holding on to it for a while. And finally, last year, at the beginning of 2018, I was like, all right, I need to do this now or I'm never going to do this. I had already had like Juju Fontaine for like a year or so. So I just like reached out to Izzy, reached out to like a bunch of local female musicians and was like, I have this thing, who wants to do it? And she finally like agreed to do it. And after like 4 months of practicing, like we played our first show and it just set off.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we played our first show less than a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the end of April last year. So
And now Tucson can't get rid of us.
I know, we're in everybody's ears. For sure.
So, Gabby, you mentioned that at least a couple of these songs had been kind of clattering around in your head in some fashion or another for a few years. Did you know that they wanted to live in a band like this, or were they sort of orphan songs and you didn't know what kind of home they were going to end up with?
No, I definitely had this vision for it. I think when I just had that vision, it didn't seem feasible. Like, I'd always wanted to be in some kind of, like, all-girl, like, riot girl punk band or something. But, like, I don't know, I couldn't find a style in that genre that really fit for me. But I knew I wanted it to be, like, a really strong, like, fun all-girl thing. And that I wanted it to just... Yeah, pretty much what you have now is what I saw it as. Back then, it didn't seem possible for me.
And what changed?
Meeting the right people and also like being in like a climate of like female empowerment, like in Tucson, like there's just this great like climate of female empowerment and just lots of tons of really great female musicians lots of like great all-girl bands, and it just seemed like this was the time to do it. Like this was the time to try to like be bold and make it happen. I guess it was just timing and finding the right people.
Isabella, what attracted you to this project and to playing with Gabby?
The fact that, I mean, she had this vision of it being like an all-girl thing, which like I always wanted to do too. I was really like resistant whenever I thought about like joining a band or starting a band, because I've been playing since I was like a little kid, but nothing ever serious. So when that opportunity came up, you know, and I saw that it was like actually coming to fruition, I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm in, you know. But that really attracted me. I thought it was really cool, and like just the fact that that was something that she wanted to keep, you know, keep true to. That was very attractive. And then plus, like, she sent me these demos that were like really cool, super garagey, and that was like what I was really into at the time. And I think she's lying a little bit when she says that this is what she wanted it to be. I don't think that. I don't think that what we
envisioned it being that. There's no way I could have envisioned it being as cool as it is now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think I always feel like maybe she had a different idea of what she thought it was going to be, but she seems okay with how it turned out. So I think we're all okay with it.
So, yeah. I'd be curious to know what do you think differs the most between those original demos and then the full fleshed out versions of the songs that you have now?
I mean, the different playing styles for sure that my current bandmates have. Everything just sounds like fuller and more like grown up and alive now. And a lot of the songs we play now like weren't written until after I met my bandmates and after we had been playing together for a while and like developing our different styles and like letting them inject all their like influences into the songs that I would the songs that I would write. So yeah, I think it just helps having like other people put in their like musical input, because I've always been a very like solitary musician, like singer-songwriter that didn't want to work with other people.
Right.
But yeah, definitely working with them has helped me realize that it can only get better when you let other people like inject their awesomeness into your music. So yeah.
And other Gabby is the newest member of the gang. How did you come to find these folks?
Oh, it was all a Facebook message. Izzy messaged me and just asked me to play.
Well, that's what she
like,
thinks.
yeah.
Well, the reality is that we had been wanting to ask her for a long time, but we were so scared.
I was so scared. I mean, she has M. Crane, and I love M.
And
Crane.
Bible Fights.
And Bible Fights. And I've seen M. Crane has become like one of my favorite Tucson bands. And when we needed a drummer, I was like, oh, maybe her. And people kept suggesting her to me, and I was like, no, she's not gonna want to. There's no way. And then finally, after we exhausted all of our other options, we like even my roommate like played a show with us. Sean Louis, shout out. If I don't shout him out, he's
Our
gonna be upset.
fourth member, Sean Louis.
Yeah. But I finally asked her, and she said yeah, like she was down, and I was like, no way, awesome.
Yeah,
So
they're cool. Yeah, it's a great band. This is my fun band for sure.
There you go.
it's everybody's like fun project.
What's been the best part of the experience so far as you're incorporating yourself into the group?
I would just say how easygoing they are. They're super supportive of everything else that I'm doing, and usually, like, you know, musicians, they want to hog you. So, and I get it, that's cool, but they're just so convenient to work with. Yeah, no, they're awesome. They're great musicians. They know what they're doing, and they have a goal to get, so they're going for it.
There you go.
Let's do it.
So the new EP came out a couple of weeks ago, Original Hot. I want to talk about the recording process and all that in a little bit, but I think it'd be good to get back into the music now. So
let's do it.
what do you have queued up for us next?
We have the first ever demo that I recorded for this, Swipe Left.
Please stay the heck away.
You're tuned in to Locals Only here on KXCI, live in Studio 2A with Taco Sauce. Thanks again for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So the new EP, Original Hot, released just in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
When did you start working on this?
It's like October.
I think it was like September when we did Forever Alone at Baby Gas Mask.
Oh yeah. We started in early fall. We did one track at Baby Gas Mask. We did it at 3 different studios because it was our EP. We wanted to get a different feel for different studios, different recording processes. So we did our first at Baby Gas Mask. We did 2 more in Phoenix at Epicenter Studios, and then 2 more here with Ty Angle at Angle Studios. And I think we finished our last track. It was like early this year.
Yeah, like the beginning, like January.
Yeah.
And first time as a band in the studio laying down tracks like this, what was the was it a painless process? Were there
Pretty much.
challenges?
Pretty much.
It was
For
just
me.
it was just less fun because we weren't like all together playing for most of the time. So it was less fun for sure because like you do like some live stuff all together to get some things and then you're just like tracking by yourself.
Right.
So most of it was just me in the studio like late at night trying to get my stupid guitar solos right. That was like most of it. So it wasn't super fun. Well, it was fun because Ty Angle is fun to hang out with, but other than that, like we prefer live. But yeah, it wasn't super hard. We got it all done. We were like, okay, we could do this. Like studio stuff's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind waiting around, sitting around, drinking coffee and eating snacks. 'Cause that's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's pretty much all she was doing after she was like, okay, got it. Gabby, go do your thing.
So, I thought it was very clever. You mentioned a moment ago that you were sort of using this EP almost as a way to test out different studios, different environments to record in, and I assume the implication is with an eye towards hopefully a full length in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we want to do a full length. We want to do some more like out of town shows and stuff and get the EP out there a little bit more. But
Yeah.
probably by like fall, we'll probably start looking into recording the full thing, finding a studio that's right for us
Yeah.
to do that. But mostly now we're just playing like a ton of local shows.
We
to
get so busy
money.
with gigging. Yeah, we get so busy. I think like the amount of shows we have coming up is more than we've like ever had in that amount of time, which
Yeah.
is awesome. It's like,
Yeah.
what I want to do.
Yeah, so hopefully like more people
Really
hear this and
fun.
come to see us because I think like all our friends are like sick of our like weekly shows, our like bi-weekly
Yeah.
shows.
Never.
Nah.
We love you guys.
We have good friends. Thank you guys for your support.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's on the horizon then? What are the upcoming notable shows that people should know about?
April 6th, 191 Tool with the B-sides. We are going to be in Phoenix. The first time the 3 of us are going to be going out of town, I think, with Paper Foxes. They're good friends of ours. I play with both bands. We play with them a ton. In Phoenix at, I don't remember. If you follow us on Facebook, we have all our stuff on there. But yeah, mostly 191 Tool is going to be a really cool show on
And we
April
play
6th.
on the 7th, April 7th at Congress with Panic Baby.
Right. Yeah, they're dope from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
So, Gabby, I want to talk a little bit about the challenge of being a songwriter who has 2 pretty different projects, and how your sort of how your pen, so to speak, finds its way to one project or another. Do you find that having 2 bands to write for has made it easier to write songs, or has it been more of a challenge to have to keep sort of replenishing 2 different fountains?
No, it's been pretty easy. I have a lot of different material, and I find some of it is like more like silly, petty, punky stuff. So that goes in like the taco sauce box. And I had that stuff like for a while, but it was like this doesn't work for Juju. That would be ridiculous. So it actually is it's pretty easy. Like now I can kind of like compartmentalize like when I'm writing and be like, this is probably gonna go over here. This is probably gonna go over here, because I do have like tons of ideas all the time. So it hasn't been super hard. Like scheduling wise, like yeah, it's hard because both of my bands like play a ton, but it's been great. Honestly, I really enjoy having 2 separate outlets for like all my ideas. So
And you mentioned that, some of the sort of sillier, more fun songs find their way over here. Is that a songwriting muscle, that sort of use of humor and writing some kind of tongue-in-cheek topical songs, things like that. Is that a part of your songwriting repertoire that you'd been eager to try to stretch into a little bit more?
Yeah, ask all of my family. I'm great at coming up with like on the spot satirical songs. Like give me any subject and I will start singing something ridiculous and amazing, and like that's absolutely a muscle I love to work, is like writing ridiculous like funny songs. So if I was like better at like YouTube and stuff, I probably would have like gone that route,
Right.
and been like one of those like funny YouTube song people like for money and stuff, but I'm too lazy for that. So yeah, that goes more taco sauce.
Yeah. But I think it's underrated how challenging it can be to have songs that have humor, but without like veering into just kind of kitsch, because at the end of the day, this isn't a novelty band. This is a band that I think a lot of people are connecting with and finding something to relate to. So how do you find that balance, and not just in terms of the words on the paper, but the overall presentation of the band and its aesthetic and all of that? How do you kind of find a way to craft I hate this word, but like a brand that fits the band?
Right. Well, that's kind of what I meant when I talked about how maybe Gabby had envisioned something different, because like the first two demos, I sent them to somebody one time and he was like, oh, it reminds me of Hunks and his Punks, and they're kind of like a novelty band and I love them. But they kind of like their shtick is like doo-wop 50s, like they're led by a gay man and he sings about boys, and it's like that's kind of like their thing, and I felt like maybe that's what she wanted out of those demos. But then like you have songs like Gaslight and those lyrics, which like we had played it for like 6 months before I like actually like listened to the lyrics. But it's like a metaphor about like a gaslight, and which is like a old Hollywood metaphor, and the way that she used that metaphor was a little bit more like sophisticated than I would have imagined, like like you said, like a novelty band would do.
Yeah, like they're serious topics. They're things that are like, we're women, we're Chicano women. So it's like, yeah, there are annoying things we deal with every day. So to put a little bit of like bite and humor into like the obnoxiousness of like dating today and just like dealing with like stupid people. It's like or like
That's
horrible
our brand.
relationships or like dudes who just like don't get it. It's like, it's serious things that drive us nuts, but if you add some like humor and bite into it, like mix those things together.
Also, our brand is kind of just like ourselves.
Yeah.
I grew up here. Gabrielle grew up
same
here. Gabby grew up in New Mexico. We're all Chicanas. So that's like a big part of our identities. Which is like, I don't know, in fashion to be a brown person. But that's like, our brand is just us. Like we're not like reaching for anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess this is the freedom to just say and do whatever we really want.
And another thing that's cool, it's like me and Gabby have very similar taste and style. So when we go on stage, we tend to look pretty cool together. But that's just like
Coordinated outfits, bodysuits, boots.
The bodysuits. That's the greatest. Wait, I'm telling you, Van
Waiting for
Buren.
you, Gabby. You're gonna love it.
No, Van Buren. If
Oh,
it ever
yeah.
happens.
Gabby Al says that if we play the Van Buren, she's gonna wear a bodysuit on stage. So book us.
Somebody make that happen.
Somebody write that down.
I was really hoping you were going to go in the direction of saying that you dressed like President Martin Van Buren in honor of that, the little magician.
That's a little out there.
Yeah,
little bit.
maybe the second time. Well, so before we get into our last set here, you mentioned before that if people want to keep track of upcoming shows, social media is the best way to do that. So what are the best social media sites for following Taco Sauce?
Facebook.com/Taco Sauce Band, Instagram Taco Sauce Band. Anything you do Taco Sauce Band, or you're going to find literal taco sauce. If you Google us and just put taco sauce, you're not going to find us. So if you do anything Taco Sauce Band, will be the first result. But yeah, we're on like Bands in Town, all those band following things. We're on Spotify now too, but you should buy our album on Bandcamp if you want to listen to our music.
And the last and most important question of the night: what is each of your favorite brands of taco sauce?
Oh, man.
Poblano.
No, that's not my favorite taco sauce.
It's not hers. What do you like, Valentina?
Yeah. Or
Valentina's pretty
guacamaya. like original.
Poblano is good. It's like the
Tapatio.
spiciest. Tapatio is good.
That's a
Tapatio is
good one.
weak compared to poblano.
Poblano is spicy.
It's a
Anyway.
little too hot for my liking.
That's fair.
I'm in the wrong band.
That's fair.
But I will clarify and say that to me, taco sauce, and I've always said this, is like when you go and you get a street taco,
Uh-huh.
like a lengua taco, and like you have all the stuff on top, all like the cabbage and the salsa and everything, and then like all the stuff that falls out because the tortilla can't hold everything. That's like
All that greasy.
Yeah.
All right, that's a very
Dang, mine
important
open.
clarification.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why they give you 2 tortillas. So you
Yeah.
can make
Yeah, because you have to. Yeah, you have 2 tacos.
Yeah.
There you go.
They know what's up.
All right, so we're going to hear one last set here from Taco Sauce. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget, if you happen to be in front of a screen, and you probably are, you can head over to either the KXCI Facebook page or YouTube account, and you can watch this performance as well. Here's Taco Sauce live in Studio 2A.
Kick rock scaring, nobody asked your opinion. You think it's funny putting down fellow women? I'll punch you in the face if you diss my girl. You're internalized misogyny that makes me wanna freaking. Bouncing body, nobody cares what you think about our bodies. Open your mouth, I'll set you on fire and I'll show you who's a hottie. I'm a creep if you touch my girl. Your white male entitlement makes me wanna. You tricks, Becky, why you always calling the police? You're only afraid 'cause you're racist. You're the one disturbing the peace. This ain't your land, you're from the other side of the world. Your white nationalism makes me wanna freaking. Oh, you make me wanna. Oh. It rocks. And Sam. It rocks. Up yours. Screw you. Go to hell. It rocks. It rocks. flashed, I figured no one would notice up there. She must have made us barely talk. You met her, got knocked up and vowed never again, baby, I swear. I don't wanna believe in nothing but a reprieve for something I didn't do. Just my date with the devil. Your heaven is forever with people like you. If you say your God doesn't change, then you still got that old time believe I'd rather leave in town. But don't believe I'd rather leave in every town.
Taco Sauce live in Studio 2A here on KXCI. Thank you one more time for a great performance. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We have just a couple minutes left here, so we'll chat a little bit more before we wrap things up. And one thing I was thinking about during that last set is the last couple songs in particular are really good bass showcase songs.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like a fun band to be a bass player in.
Totally.
But in a trio, the bass has to carry a lot of different kinds of loads, not just, from rhythm perspective, but it seems like in particular you've got a lot of melody responsibility as well. So just tell me a little bit as a bass player, what's been your approach to these songs and what's made this a fun band to play in.
Well, I think one of the things that makes it the most fun is that it always feels like we're trying to do something different, something that nobody's ever heard, something outside of the box. And so I think Gabby challenges me a lot, and also lets me do what I want to do and gives me the freedom to do what I want to do. So I'm able to explore a lot with my bass playing and just even in the last song, I remember I played it a different way, and then I listened to somebody had posted an Instagram video of us playing at a show, and it was kind of distorted, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool, I'm gonna change it. And so so many times I've told Gabby I'm gonna change the bass line to this song, and she's like, whatever, do what you want. So she gives me a lot of freedom. Well, I mean, I feel like not she gives me a lot of freedom, but I have a lot of freedom.
I've allowed you to write your own bass line.
She allows it, yes. No, but I feel like I have the freedom and ability to just kind of go crazy and do whatever I want, and that's great as a bass player. And I grew up playing the violin and playing in an orchestra, and playing lead violin first chair, and so I was constantly reading music, just in a box, and I loved it. I loved the feeling of playing viscerally. But I feel like I have the most ability to kind of just move around and do whatever I want, and get stoned and play what I figure like playing.
And she has the ability to play really complex parts. So if I'm make this crazy and more melodic, figure it out, she does. She does figure something out, and it's super cool.
As I was watching your fingers, I didn't realize you had a classical background, but they struck me as your fingers were moving like a classically trained player.
Yeah, the way that I shift and stuff is totally not how most people play.
Right.
And maybe is a little bit more difficult, but I'm used to playing it that way. It's funny. And I always wonder if anybody notices me kind of all over the place.
Right, yeah. And Gabby, you have a formal music background as well.
Yeah.
Has it been fun to be able to kind of rebel against your formal training through this very fun, very different kind of project?
Oh, yeah, for sure. As soon as I graduated, I was like, okay, back to rock and roll. Because that was what I did. I wrote music and played on stage in high school. And then kind of got tricked into being classically trained. Because in college, if you go for a normal music degree, it's going to be all classical. And I was a voice person. So I was singing opera, and I was taking classical piano lessons and all this stuff. And I'm really grateful for it because it's made me a better all around musician. And I know all the theory and stuff. But I was I'm not going to keep doing this. There's no career in that. So
Gabby Al has a formal music background too, actually.
Oh, not as formal as them. I've just been playing for about maybe 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but just high school. middle school, like band programs. I did 1 year at the U of A, the drumline. And
Pride
that's
of
it.
Arizona.
Yeah, go Wildcats! Woo!
Well,
But yeah,
This has been a lot of fun. I really, really appreciate y'all coming down, sharing your music with us. Taco Sauce, you can hear the new EP on Bandcamp or wherever you stream your music. Find them on Facebook and Instagram and the like. With that, we're ready to wrap things up here on Locals Only. The Scratching Post is up next. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate
Have
it.
a great night.
Good night.